Hello. 15th of December now, Thursday. Cheers and blessings. I like that word. Can be taken in many different ways, but all positive. Well, if you have not watched the second interview with Gary Green, and it's really a visit, I agree with you, Bill McEwen. I like how you call me Maestro. Thank you. I like that. I appreciate that. It feels right. But if you haven't watched the interview, which is my last video, please do. It's a really nice exchange, and I honestly feel like I've made a new friend. Gary Green, a gentle giant. I pulled this last night, put it away. Let me pull it out again. Oh, come on, Dereck. Yes. I was... You know, people, we're all just people. And rock musicians and celebrities are just people. But the way that their work and their art touches us is deep and it's significant. So pulled this and played this. This was my first introduction to the band Gentle Giant Three Friends, as I've told the story now a few times. So it's kind of like I go back and play this stuff. I love it. Anyway, there's Gary with his glasses on and his hippie hair. I'm kind of pinching myself because if you heard me say it in the video, I did honestly have thoughts like this back when I was much younger, that out of my teens and stuff in early 20s, where bands like Gentle Giant and Van der Graaf Generator, they don't come to Omaha. So they would go to Kansas City, but you know, that's further than Lincoln. And so my thought was, I'll probably never get to see these people or anything, you know. If the realistic possibility that I thought back then was that probably when we're all old and ready to die is when I'll have an opportunity to talk to or meet or see some of these musicians, and that's exactly what has happened. I've had a lot of thoughts and, you know, visions or whatever you call them when I was younger about life, and that have all come true. So Gentle Giant truly are in the top pantheon of bands in my book. It's not about the money that they did not make, which apparently they didn't make. It's about the quality of the music and also the heart of this music. This is more than just rock and roll, and it really can enrich, and it has enriched me personally. I could go on and mention bands and upset people because they'll say, hey, I like those guys. Well, I won't say any names, but some of the biggest acts in the world, I like them, but they haven't helped me or raised my level of awareness of anything like bands like Gentle Giant have. People like Frank Zappa. Honestly, people like Herbie Hancock. The way that Herbie Hancock does his music, it's the same way. Gentle Giant, the Beatles, Herbie Hancock, Miles Davis, Genesis, Peter Gabriel. Those are the Ryuichi Sakamoto, Hiromi Hosono, the Soft Machine pantheon. Those are my dudes, as opposed to, you know what I'm saying. So Gary and I get on like a house on fire. I have a new friend. After the conversation ended, Gary called me. He wanted to talk some more, and he wanted to share some stories that he didn't want to share on camera. What a gentleman that he wanted to share some very interesting stories, but he didn't want to trash the well-known people by telling these tales. Wow. Now what's interesting is, had the shoe been on the other foot, I might have told the stories. I won't say the names, but they're super well-known superstars that he's had contact with, and some interesting exchanges. Really nice guy. I don't know if it got caught on the video, but I've been invited to his home. Next time I go to Chicago, stop off and go and visit him and his wife, and I will. Okay, so I just heard from Matt Parker, who runs the British Progressive Jazz and the other British, jazz label. He noticed that I had mentioned this, and I just got this in the mail yesterday. I haven't really played it yet, but I already know. Elton Dean Quartet on Italian Roads. This is a winner. I love Elton Dean. He was from Soft Machine. That's where Elton John got his name. Elton John from Elton Dean. Okay, it's the truth. There's, Elton said it many times. Elton was a bad mofo. And this band is like top notch. How can you really mess with this? Keith Tippett, Henry Miller, and Louis Maholo. I started to play it, and that's my sister. Hey, Stephanie. It's excellent already. So I just thank you, Matt, for keeping me in the loop, and for you folks that are interested in good jazz and maybe possibly the history of British music. This label and these releases are vital. Hats off to you, Matt. Dave Newhouse, if you happen to be seeing this, let me know when you're ready, because I'm ready to have you on the channel to discuss many things, as in particular the Muffins box set, which I have dived into, or dove into, however you say it again. The Palindrome album that you include there is wonderful. Thank you, Dave, so much. And Steve Feigenbaum of Wayside, thank you all for hooking me up with the box set. Thank you so much. Just going to see right quick what's going on here with my sister. Okay, she's sharing pictures of herself at home. That's nice. A little more music before I go. The fun part about having such a big collection, I had to got some new peepers, is that I do lose track of stuff. I used to really know what I have, and I don't anymore. I have this general picture that's based on the past of what's in my collection, but I keep coming up with stuff that it's like, oh, kind of forgot I had this, and this is one of them. The Universal Congress of. This is an album by Joe Baiza and the Universal Congress of on Greg Ginn of Black Flag's SST Records. Now, this is a label that, kind of was born out of punk, but had a total aesthetic to it. Indie, skronky, scratchy, punky, street level stuff. And this really fits. It's one long piece on both sides, and it's an improvisation, and it's slightly psychedelic, and it's slightly just what it is, just some cats getting together and trying to raise some energy musically, and it's good. I completely forgot about it. As you saw in my video talking to Gary, I plan to send him a copy of my last album. I hadn't played this in a while, and it was sitting out, and so I popped it on, ended up playing the whole thing. I'm really, really happy with this. I really like this. Beyond the fact that I made this music, I really like this sound. This came out really well. There are still a few copies available through the label FPE in Chicago. I'll leave the link. It's just about sold out. And that'll be it. Probably will not be remanufactured. I'm sending Gary a copy. Listen to some of this last night. Someone sent this to me out of the VC. Thank you. Steve Hillage, Madison Square Garden Live. It's a good album. It's not well recorded. Or I shouldn't say, what I should say is the EQ on it is crap. So when I play this, I EQ it so I can enjoy it. You know, it's all flat and no bass. Good stuff. Steve Hillage. You know his background. Oh, that reminds me that, yeah, another thing about Gentle Giant that I was reading in the book that goes with the box set is how, and I forgot to ask him about this, where they borrowed some equipment from Soft Machine. Well, I want to know about that. You guys were friendly with Soft Machine? Tell me about that. I forgot that. So that's coming up. The other original cover for Three Friends. This is the reissue on the Alucard label. Along the Canterbury lines or Soft Machine lines, I pulled this because I hadn't played it in so long. Kevin Ayers, The Confessions of Dr. Dream and Other Stories. And I'm glad that I played both sides because for my taste, side one is wretched. I don't care about his words. He's clever with words, but the music is god-awful as far as my taste. It's like people trying to do island music that don't have the feeling. But when we get to side two, it's a whole nother story, and there we go, okay? Here's where the elements that I like and also I think work are put into play. Kevin Ayers. You know, this is probably one of my favorite Pink Floyd albums. People are always wanting to know what is my favorite, and the favorites will be different on different days. But one that I love to listen to, particularly side one, not Echoes, but Meddle. I love the cover too. I think I kept my American version as well. This is the Pink Floyd label reissue. I really like this album. Kind of a lazy, dreamy feel to a lot of it. I love it. I love the cover graphics too. Yeah, this is the favorite album cover. This is. If I had a chance to talk to the members of Pink Floyd, would I really want to? It wouldn't be high on my list, but if I had the opportunity, I would. You know, I think I could come up with some interesting things to talk about that are not the typical music press type of questions. That was the other thing that I was thinking about. It's like, now that I've talked to a few folks on my channel here, I've been thinking about who else do I really want to talk to. I'll tell you what, people, I've already talked to three sources of people that I really wanted to talk to. Members of Gentle Giant, Jonas Bier of Mew. That music is really important to me, people. And, well, Gong, I have to include Gong as well, okay? And Richard Barbieri from Japan Porcupine Tree. These musicians are very important to me. And they are at the top of the list of who I ever wanted to talk to. I'll put it like this. If you folks that watch know some other musicians of note, of interest, particularly that would interest me, that might want to be interviewed by me or talk to me, let me know. And if I'm interested, I'll pursue it. Someone offered Stella Vander of Magma, and it's like, that's interesting, but that's I'm not going to pursue that right away. I love Magma. That could be interesting. Could be. Okay. So let me just stop there. All right? That's enough. I could go on and on and on, and whatever else I was thinking, about saying I forgot to say. Take care.